Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, and welcome back to another monthly reset video. I have not done a monthly reset in months and it is well and truly overdue. I need it personally. I feel like I am just a ball of chaos and I just need order and structure in my life, and there is no other better day to do a monthly reset than today. So today we have quite a lot of things that we need to get done, just because, like I mentioned earlier, things have just been chaotic and messy. I was actually overseas traveling with my family. We went back home to Zimbabwe for about 2.5 weeks or so. So landed yesterday, my bags haven't been packed, my apartment is a mess, I have not looked at my calendar, I have not set any goals for the coming month or anything like that. So this reset is definitely needed. So we're gonna start off with a deep clean. I think that's probably gonna take the most time today, just because I need to unpack my bags, I need to do my laundry, I need to do my ironing, I need to clean the apartment, all the things. After that, we'll go into some goal setting for the month of February. We'll do a budget setup for the month of February. We'll do a reading recap for the month of January. I don't think I'll do a monthly favorite section today, but we'll just play it off by ear. We'll see how we go. We are just gonna see whatever is needed for today's reset. So yeah, let's get straight into cleaning. As you can see, I'm just even embarrassed to show you what this house is looking like. As you can see, my bags haven't been unpacked, my kitchen is just a mess, my bed has not been made. I literally just rolled out of bed today, didn't make my bed. My living room is filthy. Like, my apartment is just absolutely disgusting right now. I don't even know how I'm living with myself. This is what we need to tackle, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we need to tackle. Lovelies, so I have done about majority of the cleaning now. Apologies for the slightly low mood. I think my flu and my stomach pains are just really kicking in, but we have to persevere. I am now gonna sit down and do some goal setting for the month of February. I didn't do any for the month of Jan, and I hadn't done any for the last few months or so. I'm actually have no idea what I want to work towards at the moment. Like I said, I'm just coming from holiday mood and I feel like I just suspended reality while I was away, and now I've come back and I'm like, oh crap, where do I even start from? What do I want to be working towards? What are the things that I want to focus on and the like? So that's what I'm going to sit down now and have a think about. Lovely people, as you can see, there's a bit of an outfit change because it is actually technically the next day, or rather the next night. This jet lag just has me all kinds of messed up. I think I severely underestimated how much I'd be jet lagged after coming back from traveling overseas. There's a 9-hour difference, I believe, between Zimbabwe and Sydney, so I'm just still very much so adjusting. So yesterday I finished all my goal setting for the month of Feb, and I did about halfway through my budget, but I just couldn't finish it. So I finished the remaining of it today, so hence why we are picking up on a new day. Anyway, let's get into the goals that we've set for the month of Feb. Majority of my system is still the same. I'm still going to be using Notion, but I really have been missing just the tactile effect of writing notes down and writing goals down and being able to tick them off. So this year I've decided I'll be using my Notion in conjunction with this planner that I got from Kiki K. I am an absolute sucker for Kiki K. What I love about Kiki K is the quality of their stuff, and I love monogramming. Of course, I had to have mine monogrammed, if you can see. I have not yet found a planner that has the quality of paper like Kiki K, and for me it's just immaculate. Anyway, so what I will be doing is I'll be writing my goals down in Notion just so that I can track them digitally, as well as writing them down in here in KikiK, in my KikiK planner. There's no specific section to write down goals, but what I've decided to do is just use the notes section to write down my goals for that particular month. So let's go straight into it because I have been waffling a lot. So the first goal that I have under personal finance is no buying takeaway or any Uber Eats. I really want to knuckle down on my budget this year. I have some quite ambitious financial goals this year, so I really do need to be knuckling down on my personal finances and my day-to-day spendings. Next category, career, personal development and side hustle. My goal is to consistently post YouTube videos every single Sunday by 7 p.m. and if possible also on Wednesdays as well. So ideally I would like to post about 5 videos this month, so that's what I'm aiming towards. Next is to do some deep work on my career change and have conversations with people within the field. So that one, I'm kind of feeling a bit stagnant in my career at the moment. I'm currently in talent acquisition, have enjoyed talent acquisition for some time, but I feel like I need something more, and I've been doing a lot more thinking about exactly where I want to see my career being in the next 5 years or so. So I have some things that I've been brainstorming, some decisions that I think I have made, but I just want to make sure that this month I really do some deep work into really thinking about those things, so that when I start acting upon those things, I know exactly why I've made certain decisions. Next one, health, wellness and fitness. Start my cutting period and get back into the gym consistently. Work out at least 4 times a week. Next, under health and wellness, coffee-free month. I want to see the effects of not having coffee on my stomach. As you may be aware, I have really annoying gut issues, so I'm always trying to figure out things that are sensitive for my gut, things that are not. So this month I'm going to be cutting out all coffee and seeing how that settles my stomach. Next, I want to build a morning, evening and weekly routine that works for me for this phase of my life. As I mentioned earlier, few changes coming up for me personally in the month of Feb, so I just want to make sure that with the changes that are coming up, I've got a good morning, evening and just a weekly routine of what am I doing Sundays? Are Sundays still my reset days? What am I doing Fridays? Are those going to be my cleaning days? And all those kinds of things. So I just want to build a good routine for the month of Feb that's going to carry me on for coming months. Then lastly, in terms of faith, relationship and other, faith-wise, this is a really big focus area for me this year. I feel like in past years I have really not been where I want to be in terms of my spirituality and all those kinds of things. So this year it's a really big focus on it. I really have a big focus on it. So I want to start each day with God and get back into doing my morning quiet times. And then I also do have another goal in this category, but I'm just going to keep that private for the meantime. So that's what we're looking like for the month of Feb. What I also did as well that I'm not going to get too much into is I also did my budget for the month of Feb. Personally, I get paid monthly and I get paid on the 15th of each month, so my budgets are always like from the 15th of each month to the next 15th. So like my budgeting calendar is not like the start of the month, it starts in the middle of the month. So I've done my budget for the month of the 15th of Feb to the 15th of March. And I have, this is another thing that I did last night impulsively. I impulsively purchased the She's on the Money Budget and Cash Flow Masterclass. I've been eyeing it out for a long time and I am a big fan of the She's on the Money. Essentially, if you don't know what that is, that's like a podcast or this community run by Victoria Devine. She's an ex-financial planner. Absolutely love her work. I've bought all her books, listened to her podcast weekly, and it really has made such a big impact in terms of how I look at personal finances, the goals that I've been able to achieve and all those kinds of things. So again, I really wanted to knuckle down a lot more and take that bigger step in terms of my personal finances and really invest in, I guess, my education and the tools that I'm using in terms of managing my personal finances. So I purchased last night the Budget and Cash Flow Masterclass, I think that's what it's called, and I started it last night. So essentially I'm going to be using the Excel spreadsheet in conjunction with the budget journal. So the budget journal is absolutely amazing. I highly recommend it. Essentially it's just a tactile way of managing your goals, tracking your expenses, tracking your income and all those kinds of things. And I feel like For me, I always excel when I can track where my money is coming from and where it's going. And I feel like being able to have the Excel spreadsheet as well as this budget journal is going to be quite helpful. So I did that last night. In a separate video, I'll probably go more deeper into it. I don't think I'm ready to go deep into it now, but yes, I've also done my budget for the coming month. So I think I'm quite prepared for the month of Feb now. Today I also did clean my bedroom, so like my house is pretty much spick and span clean. My goals have been set, my habits have been set, my budget's been set. I think I'm ready to tackle the month of Feb. Alrighty, last but not least, let's get into the reading recap for the month of Jan. I'm not going to go too in-depth into this month's books because they were pretty much all the same genre. I don't know what it was with me. I was just in my romance, grumpy sunshine type of trope for this whole month of Jan, so that's all I read. So I'm just going to give each book a rating out of, all but one. Forever Interrupted was not a grumpy sunshine trope. It was different. So 4 were the same, 1 was different. I read 5 books this month, of which I'm really impressed with because those were all physical reads and some of them were quite chunky reads. Like typically when I have reading months where I read like 6 or more books, I would have listened to a few on Audible, but this month I think because I was traveling, when I was on the plane I didn't even watch many movies. I was pretty much reading. So I'm really glad that this month I got to do so much reading, and all of my books this month were read on my Kindle. I cannot express how handy this Kindle has come in. I mean, I've always loved my Kindle, but I don't think I've properly traveled with it before and really utilized it. And all of my books I think also were all on Kindle Unlimited, so I didn't pay for any of them besides my monthly Kindle Unlimited subscription. So yeah, Kindle Unlimited for people who love reading, highly recommend. Anyway, the first book of the month that I finished off or read was Forever Interrupted, and that was by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I absolutely loved it. I gave it a 4-star. Don't think it was quite exceptional enough for me to give it a 5-star, but absolutely love it. Highly would recommend. Next book that I read was Forever After All by Katerina Maura. Apologies if I'm butchering that name. I gave this book a 5-star. Initially, I actually gave it a 4.5-star, and then like 2 weeks later, I just came back to my Goodreads and I'm like, no, this book deserves a 5-star. Really loved it. Really loved the character development. Really loved the chemistry between the characters. Really just loved how there was just such night and day difference between who the characters were at the start and who they ended up being at the end based on the events that they experienced. So this was the start of my Grumpy Sunshine addiction for the month, and I would definitely attribute it to this book. Next book that I read was Pretend That You're Mine by Lucy Score. I did have quite high expectations for this one because one of my favorite books from last year was, I believe, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. I gave that book a 5-star, so I had high expectations. This book, I gave it a 4-star. I really enjoyed it, and I definitely would highly recommend it. I felt like it was very similar to Things That We Never Got Over, I think, in terms of settings. I think Lucy Score just enjoys writing small town romances, so it had a very similar vibe to another book of hers that I read. But overall, highly loved it. I loved the family in this. I loved all the characters' connections, the friendships that they had. It was really beautiful to witness. I did get a bit annoyed at it towards the end. Like, it was just like the main character, the main male character, was just annoying. I was just like, come on, get over it. Not like get over it. I got that what he went through was difficult, but then there was just some things that he was doing that were annoying, so that prevented me from giving it a 5-star. But overall, still would highly recommend. The next book that I read was The Favor by Suzanne Wright. I gave this book a 3-star. Would I recommend it? I don't know. I felt like it was okay. It was an okay read. I felt like if you're gonna want like a Grumpy Sunshine forced relationship kind of book, then Forever After All is a much better read than The Favor, but it's still past time and I was okay with it. So The Favor, I give it a 3-star. Not a bad book, but not like a wow, I recommend everybody needs to read this. The last book that I read for the month was The Contract. It seems like things were just going downhill. The Contract, I gave it 2 stars, and that was me being generous. I just felt like the writing was just not that great. It was by Melanie Morland. Never read her work before, but it seemed like the book that, like when I read the blurb, it seemed like it was in line with other books that I was vibing with for that month. So I was expecting it to be a decent read, but yeah, it was just very poorly written. Like the writing style seems like a primary school or high schoolers creative writing piece that they do for like English. It was just too, I don't know, it was just like a very basic writing style. I think that's what I didn't enjoy about it. I will not be continuing on with this series. But yeah, those are the 5 books that I read for this month. Overall good reading month. I had a 5-star in there, which is rare for me to give 5 stars, so that was good. And that pretty much wraps up the monthly reset again for this month. It was a bit of a quick one. I know I haven't gone too deep into a lot of things, but like I said, I haven't done a monthly reset in a while. Slowly easing myself into it. The jet lag's kind of really getting me. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. And with all that being said and done, dream big, keep well, and hustle hard. I'll catch you again in the next one. Bye!